Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Jerry Jones gives updates on CeeDee Lamb's contract, Trey Lance's Cowboys roster status. As the Dallas Cowboys conclude training camp this week, owner Jerry Jones offered his own synopsis of training camp and gave an optimistic update on contract talks with holdout receiver CeeDee Lamb. That Lamb, the team's top offensive weapon, still has not shown up remains a sticking point for the Cowboys less 3 weeks before the season opener against the Cleveland Browns. Time is running out for Lamb to get acclimated to be his best for that game. The two sides remain at odds on base salary, structure, and contract length. Lamb is scheduled to make $17.9 million in 2024 in the final year of his rookie deal. He is seeking a deal similar to Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson's contract that earns him $35 million annually. The Cowboys reached $33 million in their last offer to Lamb. I don't mean that to be insensitive to our fans or to CD, but we're in good shape there and we are having promising talks, Jones said. You say, well, why do you keep talking? Why don't you do something? Again, as in anything, it takes both of you there at the same time. But I believe it's got the proper amount of everything, emphasis, importance, for everybody involved here, and we'll see how it goes. More importantly, Jones expressed confidence in getting a deal done with Lamb before the start of the season. And when I say that, it doesn't sound too promising, Jones said. The facts are that I believe we'll come together. I don't want to speak for him. That's what I'm trying not to do. But we wouldn't have offered him what we've offered him if we didn't want him to be here. Jones also guaranteed that number 3 quarterback Trey Lance will make the team's 53-player roster. There is little chance that Lance will pass Cooper Rush for the team's backup job behind starter Dak Prescott. After a disappointing performance in the preseason opener against the Rams, Lance took a step forward in the second preseason game against the Las Vegas Raiders. He simply hasn't played enough football. Coach Mike McCarthy said Lance will likely go the entire way in preseason final against the Los Angeles Chargers at AT&T Stadium on Saturday. I'd like to see us really be able to have our quarterback depth, Jones said. I'd like to see him get some more work in this weekend, that would be number 1. Do I need to see any more from Trey Lance? The answer is yes, but he's going to be on the 53. The Cowboys gave up a 4th-round pick to the 49ers a year ago to obtain Lance, the number 3 overall pick in 2021. He is 40 of 64 for 339 yards with 1 touchdown and no interceptions in 2 preseason games, adding 78 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. There is chance that Prescott acts as the offensive coordinator and calls plays for Lance against the Chargers. Both Jones and McCarthy were pleased with the work the Cowboys got done in training camp. It was the team's longest stay in camp in California since they started coming to Oxnard 2002. Normally, the Cowboys break camp after the first 2 preseason games, but they returned to Oxnard for 3 more practices following last Saturday's 27-12 victory at the Las Vegas Raiders. They suffered a 13-12 setback at the Los Angeles Rams in the preseason opener. McCarthy wanted to get 3 more good practices days in the cool temperatures of California before returning to the Texas heat. The daily high in Oxnard is around 80 degrees with it dropping into 60s in the morning and early evenings, compared to the 100-degree temperatures in Dallas-Fort Worth. Jerry Jones confirms Trey Lance's Cowboys roster fate after Week 2 of preseason. The important quarterback announcement that every Cowboys fan has been waiting for Jerry Jones to announce finally arrived on Tuesday. Trey Lance is back. And by back I mean Trey Lance isn't going anywhere, which is still great news for him considering, how his career's gone since leaving San Francisco. While talking to reporters on Tuesday, Jones confirmed that Lance will be on the 53-man roster when Week 1 of the regular season rolls around. In typical Jerry Jones fashion, however, he also added that he'd like to see more from Lance in the team's final preseason game this weekend. In Lance's defense, he's actually been one of the more productive QBs across the league through these first couple of preseason games. His 339 passing yards are second in the NFL, only behind Rams QB Stetson Bennett. It's a very exciting list. He also has the ninth best QB rating of the preseason, sandwiched between Raiders QB Aidan O'Connell and Raiders QB Gardner Minshew, which is kind of funny because the latter was named QB1. Any stat sheet with names like Mac Jones, Sam Howell, and Kenny Pickett obviously don't mean a whole lot, but it's not like Lance hasn't played well enough to be the obvious QB2 candidate. On a less important note, it's still so weird to see a team owner be the guy who announces personnel decisions. There isn't another owner out there who not only does media on the side of a practice field during training camp, but uses that media session to announce things like quarterback decisions. And this is all happening weeks before it needs to, technically speaking. So, yeah. Another year of Trey Lance, Cowboys backup is happening. Dallas has bigger QB issues to address now, but now we know who Dak Prescott's heir apparent will be. Cowboys send strong message on QB Cooper Rush amid cut rumors. The Dallas Cowboys are facing a difficult choice in selecting Dak Prescott's backup for next season, with Cooper Rush and Trey Lance both vying for the role. Lance has seen the majority of preseason game action. He's completed 40 of 64 passes for 339 yards and a pair of touchdowns, one rushing, one passing. Lance has also tossed an interception. Rush has thrown just 6 passes in the preseason, but the Cowboys have also been closely monitoring his training camp reps. I think just like anything, you play this all the way out, McCarthy said on Wednesday, August 21st, about the backup QB battle. You can never have enough good quarterbacks, and we got 3 good ones. We're fortunate. The Cowboys mostly know what they're getting in Rush, who has been with the team since 2017. He saw extended time in 2022 when Prescott went down with a thumb injury, even creating a brief QB controversy. Rush went 4-1 in his starts, passing for 1,051 yards, 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He's played sparingly outside that window, attempting just 49 passes in his other 5 seasons combined. The Cowboys value the consistency that Rush brings to the table. Cooper is the same man every single day, McCarthy said. He is super consistent. He is on top of his game. I think if you look at his snaps that he has had this year, definitely quality over quantity. That's by design with what we've got going on with Dak and Trey. This is clearly, in my time with him, his best camp. His decision-making has been on point. I think his footwork and some of the things he's done have been impressive. There are not too many 2-minute drills when he goes out there that Cooper doesn't take the offense right down the field. Super consistent. I really like the camp Cooper has had. The Cowboys traded for Lance before the start of last season, sending a 4th-round pick to the San Francisco 49ers. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones recently praised Lance's ability and upside as the former number 3 overall pick. He also assured Lance will be on the 53-man roster. I'd like to see us really be able to have our quarterback depth, Jones said. I'd like to see Lance get some more work in this weekend, that would be number 1. Do I need to see any more from Trey Lance? The answer is yes, but he's going to be on the 53. That move would leave Rush on the outside looking in if the team decides to keep only 2 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster. It's a risk to let Rush go, but it's less likely he'll get scooped up by another team than Lance and could sign with the practice squad. The Cowboys hope that discussions about Prescott's backup remain confined to the preseason. Over his 8 seasons, Prescott has stayed relatively healthy, and with an important contract year ahead, the focus is on keeping him on the field. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Cooper Rush? Leave your opinion in the comments.